After the tragic loss of Takeoff, I really had to take a deep breath and really, try to think of how I felt about that. And it's not just his passing, but the passing of so many other young, talented brothers who have unfortunately died by the hands of people that look like them. I'm very, very big on self-accountability. I'm very, very big on the notion of you are what you think about. I'm very big on you can do, right? Regardless of your circumstance or your race, that you can. When I first got the news and I heard about what happened, I just went on a rampage on Twitter and just totally denounced the whole gangster culture, gangster rap, street niggas, just that whole culture. Because I just believe, as far as our race is concerned, that culture is cancerous for us. And I understand what has happened to us in the past in regards to racism, slavery, all those different things. But at the same time, I often ask myself, what can we do in the present moment to shift the dynamic, like just to raise our thoughts and our consciousness, to shift this narrative to where we shame gang culture, we shame gangster shit, we shame it. You know what I mean? Our race, we typically set the standard for culture as far as the latest dance, the latest clothing trends, and other people follow that. So why can't we flip the narrative on this current culture and just change it from that of glorifying death, destruction, gangster shit to like shaming that shit? And I think that things will open up and we will be better. We will come out better. For this young man to lose his life, it's such a tragedy, man. It's so tragic. And it's not just him, it's just been so many. It's like a boiling point, and I think we're at the point now where it's normalized, which is even sicker. It's normalized. As far as people, like, I often question black on black crime, and people tell me that black on black crime doesn't exist and all races kill each other, but this shit is not normal. When I look at all the rappers that have perished prior to this particular death, it's not normal. You can't name a genre where they've lost this high amount of artists so consistently, so fast. And this is just fact. So to say or to ignore us hurting one another, I think it's a travesty on another level. There was an article that said all these rappers, it was TMZ article that said all these rappers have lost their lives to gun violence. I disagree. They lost their lives to another nigga that looked like them. It wasn't gun. Yeah, a gun was used, but who was on the other side of the trigger? And I get it. Things are not fair, right? You get, police brutality, this, that, whatever. But like, if I'm in a community where it's somebody that looks like me that's oppressing me, that's having me walk to a gangster code or hurting me, that looks like me, that's my same race, I I look at this person as a traitor and a treasonous person. Because you sit here and you are oppressing your own people. When it comes to gang culture, when it comes to all that street shit, they are oppressing their own kind out of being weak. Now, in this particular situation with Takeoff, I'm guessing, hey, maybe it was a fight and perhaps somebody in his own camp, but I don't know. I don't know this, I'm just listening to what I'm seeing. Maybe they shot it, it accidentally hit him, but still, what are we fussing? What are we fussing and fighting about? And not only fussing and fighting, and not only are we fussing, fighting, and hurting one another in a lot of these communities, we're allowing this pain and this grief to be sold back to us so other people can profit off of our own pain and grief. When I first heard about what happened, I did a crazy tweet and I just denounced all street culture, this, that, whatever. And then there was some guy, I don't know his name, but I guess he's one of those elitist, so-called black leaders who said that crime is crime, which I understand, right? Crime is crime. But the level at which I see young brothers and sisters destroying one another in our community particularly is a sickness that needs to be addressed. This is a disease. It's gotten out of control. It's gotten out of control. And I need to speak to that. I wish I had a time machine to go back in time to correct those things that were done to us in the past that maybe put us behind the 8 ball, but I can't. But I can say that, can we just start a discussion of loving each other? Can we? Because the whole thing with the gangster culture, the street guys, it's just not, it doesn't work. And we as black people are not all the same. You got black men who just work in corporate America, work at a warehouse or wherever they work, a straight job. You got other brothers wanting them to get in line and march to a G code. A G code. I don't march to a G code. And I feel as if you threaten me or threaten my family or you pushing back or you talking gangster and tough talk, I'm going to get you prosecuted. I'm going to use my resources because I believe you're working behind enemy lines. And you a treasonous traitor to me. I don't respect none of that shit. None of it. And what is it doing when you think about gentrification in these communities where everybody's supposed to be tough on a certain block or in a certain area? I find it rather ironic when those contractors come into those communities and the bulldozers go up and not a single shot is fired. You just move. You, your mama pack up and you go. You don't fight because you can't. But you will sit there and oppress your own kind. We need to have this discussion. We need to. And the call out black on black crime, that's not being I mean, because it's absurd. It's just insane to me the levels we're at now. When you see all the rappers that have perished. And TMZ put out a story today that said these are the rappers that died by gun violence. And it's like, no, they died by the hands of another nigga. That's what it should say. These are the rappers that were killed by their own people. We can't push that. We cannot continuously sit here and deflect and just not have a conscious understanding. All I'm asking for is some consciousness to raise that eyebrow of what's going on here. Because this shit is sick. It's a cancer. And rest in peace, Takeoff, man. I'm bothered by this. I'm bothered, I'm hurt, I'm shook. I just wanted to say that.